I'm Connie Colla.
That's right, and I'm Daphne Munro, and I'm still halfway asleep.
You are?
Yeah, I was. I didn't know that it was time to start the show.
Oh, come on now.
Well, thanks for tuning in. You know, we always like to show you how to live your life smart, simple, and hopefully you learn something every time you tune in.
Yeah, we've got a lot of topics to talk about today on the show. Everything from what to do on dates, some really cool things out there for couples, and some things to do with kids on the cheap as well.
Oh, yes.
And plus, here's a big one now we're going to talk about today as well, which is raising responsible kids.
That's right.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm still trying to grow up myself and become responsible, so I don't really have much to say about that.
Yeah, I think that's probably step one for all of us,
Right.
I would have a feeling. But
exactly.
Anyway, we're going to get some advice. Dr. Lofermento will join us and give us a little bit of a roadmap on that one.
That's right. Well, you know, and a lot of people on our Facebook page, Smart Family 15 Facebook page, have been talking about that topic too, and some things that they do to raise responsible kids.
That's right.
Like Joy says, a good role model yourself, be a good role model yourself, and your child will look up to you. It starts at home. Don't expect the schools to instill manners and raise your kid for you.
And then Susan Baroni says, if you want your child to be responsible, you need to allow them to have the chance to be so. Let your child make decisions and learn from their consequences, both good and bad. And don't do everything for your children. Learning to ask for what they need and do things for themselves gives them the opportunities to learn responsibility. We love that. Thanks, Susan.
That was a really good comment. I love that. Give them responsibility so they can learn. Well, Victoria says start it early. Start it early. And she says again, start it early. Please, thank you, no thanks were a part of my daughter's language. I did not make a big deal of it, and to this day, it says it is all the time, well, around everyone else, but to her. I like that. So she's teaching her kids how to be polite and thankful. So some good comments there, and you know you can always join in on the conversation. You can find us at facebook.com/smartfamily15 and log in, put your comments on the show. We've got a lot of really good topics coming up, so we want to hear from you.
It is time to talk about childhood development now, and today's topic, raising a responsible child. It's the goal of most parents to see our children take an active role in wanting to be a responsible person. Dr. Marianne Lofermento is the author of the Simply Parenting series. She's also a respected pediatrician, and she joins us now from New Jersey to help get us on track for success. Hi, Dr. Lofermento.
Hi, Connie. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm going to hang on every word on this subject today on raising a responsible child. Let's start with a definition of a responsible child. How would you define that?
Well, what we really want, it's not just the child, it's the young adult that we turn out someday. And we want that person to be someone who, you know, respects themselves and property and other people and their feelings, and someone who goes beyond that and also has a responsibility towards the world eventually. We want them to be good citizens. We want them to contribute. And I think that's the whole crux of responsibility and what we want to put into our children.
So we start at home and we reach out into the world. You know, you and I have discussed several times the terrible twos. So what age do we expect this responsible behavior? It's probably not 2.
It's probably not 2. We can expect it, but we're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Probably not till 4 or 5. That's when a child can start having a little bit of self-control. So I'd say we still can expect it. We can talk about it. We can have the child learn little things, but we're not going to really start seeing some level of responsibility until just before kindergarten.
So what should parents be doing right now then to start all of this responsible child branding? Because, you know, when you say 4 or 5, I think a lot of people at home are going, well, my child is 12 or 13 and I'm hoping they start to become responsible. So you're saying start early, and what do we do with that?
Right. It's never too late. I never want to discourage people who have older kids. However, it really doesn't start when they're 15 years. It starts when they're 15 months. Because as soon as a child knows that you mean business, that you expect a certain level of behavior from them, and you start learning that at a young age, it really begins that first time that the 15-month-old has the temper tantrum and how you handle it. And if the more you can handle it with sort of conviction and carry through and know that a child is going to be actually expecting you to keep them under control, then that's sort of the beginning. And then at each stage, we can start adding little levels of expectations and responsibility.
Okay, so keep raising the bar for the kids. Let's flip it around now.
Yes.
What about the parents? What should we be doing to help inform the parents on how they could raise a responsible child?
The parents, the first thing you need to do is to act responsibly yourself, because there is no doubt children watch everything that their parents do. So be very careful how you handle situations, and always point out to your child what's happening. If you're upset about something, tell them why. Explain what's happening at the checkout line if somebody cuts in front of you. And this way, the child learns that there is a correct way, a little more responsible way to handle conflict, and there is some expectations. If you find something that's lost, for example, you can say we're going to find the owner instead of just keeping it yourself. These are little things that add up to showing responsibility from a parent to a child.
Set that example yourself. You've got 4 really good tips here. 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 5, that we're going to go through real quick. And the first one is set limits and set parental consequences for your kids. Really, really important there. So that there's an action and there's a reaction to everything.
That's right. You're going to set a limit, and you're going to tell them the consequences if they don't, do what you expect them to do. You're going to let them experience some natural consequences, short of running into a street and getting hit by a car. They will learn, if you don't rush in to rescue them with their homework at school, they'll learn that they have to do it next time. Mm-hmm. And then teach your children how to solve their own problems. Don't just jump in and solve their problems for them. You want them to start thinking for themselves. Let them make decisions. Very important to start small and then start with the big ones as they get older. And then teach them responsibility by giving them responsibility. And you can increase that as the child grows and they can handle more.
All right, fantastic. Dr. Marianne Loframento, it's always so nice when you make a house call, The Smart Family. Thanks for being with us.
My pleasure, Connie.